What if you make a joke that doesn't crack them up? Or what if you put them off with your cheery attitude? What if you seem too aggressive or too eager or not eager enough? These are valid concerns. You're allowed to feel afraid, feel your feelings, but please don't let them stop from writing in your own voice. Use these feelings as fuel, and remember, it's okay for people not to like what you write. Dig deep and find how to best express your amazing, authentic self. Be yourself. That's great advice. But how do you do this? Big question. How do you find your voice as a brand or as a content creator? How do you stand out amongst the crowd in such a noisy world? Whether it's for social media or a newsletter or an ad or copywriting for your company's website, you must, and you already know this, find your voice. But how? Well, here's the thing about writing in your voice. Unless you're writing an academic paper or maybe fiction, all you need to do is be yourself. Use your own words and your own expressions. Good writing is about telling the truth. And Lamont. As I write this lesson, for example, I'm not obsessed with the right tone. I am not trying to impress you by using overly complicated words or posturing as someone else. Instead, I am, at least attempting to, clearly communicate my ideas so that you can use them. After all, writing, copywriting, is communicating your message and your value. There's no good writing, only effective communication. Being honest requires a level of vulnerability. When people read your copy, they'll be judging it, of course, and by default, they'll be judging, therefore, you. What if you make a joke that doesn't crack them up? Or what if you put them off with your cheery attitude? What if you seem too aggressive or too eager or not eager enough? These are valid concerns. You're allowed to feel afraid, feel your feelings, but please don't let them stop from writing in your own voice. Use these feelings as fuel, and remember, it's okay for people not to like what you write and not resonate with your specific voice and style. In fact, the bigger your microphone, the more people will not like you. It's inevitable. It's just math. Myself, while writing, I tend to be very confrontational, for example. I believe that for people to transform, they need to get all fired up and change their identity. I can't let them get away with excuses. So I'm honest and I'm direct. I answer objections candidly. I remind my customers of the consequences of their inaction. Some of them like this and some of them don't. Some of them buy my products and my services and some of them don't. In the United States, the average conversion rate for an e-commerce website is 2.63%, which means that most people find a reason not to buy anyway. And it doesn't have to be about you or your copy. It's just how business works, and you'll have to make peace with it. You will go insane if you try to write copy that everyone likes. Instead, just be genuine, be real, be yourself. Find your audience, your audience. If you're happy and bubbly all the time, embrace that. If you're funny and love to make jokes, do that. If you're analytical and into engineering and robots, go full out. Dig deep and find how to best express your amazing, authentic self. Yes, you still have to follow the rules of persuasion and use the tools in the book and use proper grammar, but you are the one writing the copy word for word. So be you. It's okay to lean into that you-ness and use your unique voice. Think about great motivational speakers like Tony Robbins or Les Brown or Ariana Huffington and Brendan Bouchard. Each has their unique style and their unique voice. People love them all. Copywriting is a lot like motivational speaking, as both prompt action and encourage people to take change in their lives. When you're writing, you're guiding your customers in the right direction and showing them how to transform their lives. You can only do this when you embrace your own voice and you let go of the fear of judgment and criticism about your writing. Assert your authority. Allow yourself to be honest and authentic. The right customers will love you. Be yourself. That's great advice. How do you do this if you've never written before? The short answer is obviously practice. The more you write, the more you'll get a sense of your own voice. The not so long answer is a few ideas for how to practice. Firstly, you need to be mindful. You may have not written official copywriting before, but you still write. You write every day. You write emails for work, you write Facebook posts or tweets, you text people, you write reports and notes. Of course, these don't count as sales copywriting. Nevertheless, they show you your voice. Being mindful of how you write in everyday life can be a good step for finding your voice in your copywriting. They shouldn't be that different too. Write as you talk. Think of your readers as friends and talk to them. Use simple language. Keep your sentences concise. Don't be afraid to add a bit of humor and to speak from the heart. How else are you going to reach them emotionally? 3, speak up. Use a recording device or a software program to dictate your thoughts. This can be a great way for you to put your ideas into a first draft And don't worry about your grammar at this stage. Don't clean up or beautify the text. All this comes later. The point here is to write the words that come naturally to your mind and just find your voice. 4 is read more. Nothing can warm up the writing engine like reading. I don't care if you like to read magazines or novels or blogs or poetry or Instagram quotes. Just read something, and a lot. Reading will improve not only your vocabulary and grammar, but also your critical eye. When you read a sentence, you'll be able to tell if it resonates with you. Is this how people really talk? You'll know after you read a lot. Besides reading sales copy for practice, try to build a reading habit in the morning, for example, or before bed. Even 10 minutes a day can honestly make a difference. 5, shitty first drafts. We'll talk more about this in another lesson, but the idea is pretty simple. Your 10th draft will be better than your first. So write a lot of drafts. Don't settle for the first idea or the first word choice that comes to your mind. Allow room for improvement. Otherwise, you'll never find your voice. And finally, let me end with this. It's a quote from Finding Your Writer's Voice, a guide to creative fiction by Thais Frank and Dorothy Wall. Here's the quote. Most writers struggle to unearth voice, not only because one's own voice is simply too familiar, but also because to speak from your voice means confronting your own world, your own dreams, and your entire life, raw and unsoftened by explanations, which is scary. But don't be afraid of showing who you are to the world. The right customers will appreciate it. So let's recap. It can be difficult for new writers to find their genuine voice without trying to imitate other people. So be patient with yourself along the way. Experiment and learn what works for you. But most importantly, be brave. It takes courage to express yourself and be genuine in front of your audience. I hope that helped. Until next time, cheers.